Alright, today I'm going to do something I haven't done in quite a while. I'm going to do a start to finish acrylic paint pour. And normally I really like to just use primary colors, black and white, but I'm going to use glow-in-the-dark colors. Let's see what we can get. So I'm going to walk through this whole process. Not sure if it's on camera. It looks like I'm off camera. So what I'm doing is I pour water into the Dixie cup just until it covers the bottom. And I do that for each color. You don't want too much water. It's important that you have consistency. Now, that being said, these are colors I have never used for paint pouring, and paints I've never used, so I may have trouble, but we'll find out. Okay, so next I add our pigment, and I like to put just about the same amount, maybe a little bit more, whatever color we're going with. So covering the bottom. Oh, this one's not open. See now, this is a pretty thick paint, so that may affect it. Oops. You gotta remember to put gloves on. Now, hopefully I don't run into too many problems. It's been quite a while since I did one of these. Okay, So now that I've got my pigment in each one, it looks like I don't really have enough white. They should be basically equal. Now, I like to add a few drops of silicone oil to one of the colors, and usually I do black. 2 drops is plenty. Now for Floetrol. Now this is, you can get this at Home Depot. This is excellent for paint pouring. It used to be cheap. I haven't bought it in years now. Let's see if we can open this. Probably should have shook this up first. I think I bought this probably 3 years ago. I've had it for a while. It doesn't usually last that long if you're painting. And I fill up to about 1/4 inch below the rim. Doesn't have to be perfect. That was a little bit much. Okay, so next is the tedious part, mixing it up. Now, probably should have did this first, but one of the reasons I put the pigment on top of the water is because you can actually mix it into the water, which makes the whole thing mix faster, which I did not do. I didn't, but it should still mix a little better being into the water and not into the Floetrol. You just want to mix the hell out of it. I want to make sure you don't have any clumps or anything. You want the consistency of like honey, where it just kind of drips off. It's actually a little thinner than honey. Now, it's also important that your table is level. And I know for a fact this table is not level, so I'm hoping it's not too bad. I mean, the painting will look nice now, but you really won't know until it dries, which can take a while depending on temperature and how big it is and all that. Well, that actually looks like there's not enough pigment, but I usually don't use these, so it looks to be as good as it's going to get. Now, these glow-in-the-dark paints might not work at all, but now that I've thinned them, it's all just a big experiment. They're also very pastel, and I usually choose, like I said, primary colors. You get a dark mixes of colors. So I don't really know what to expect here. This color is taking longer to mix. So I think only the pink and it's called rouge, glow in the dark. The others are black light reactive though. Okay. And with the white, you just gotta eyeball it for its texture. Because you can't really tell how mixed it is. But you can notice the thickness. Okay. And it's just going to be a flip cup. So I like to personally put black on the bottom. And we're just going to mix in our colors. So far that's looking good. Okay, so I did not pour all of them in. Well, the contrast on that color is non-existent. And the rest of our black. Now before I do the pour, I like to take what's left of the black and put it on my fingers and rub it on the edge. And that'll ensure that there's no canvas showing. Okay, then I also like to take the black and rub it all over my hand so that when I do the flip, I have a handprint on the back. Okay. Just a personal touch. Okay, we'll let that sit for just a second. You got these extra paints. So the more paint you have, the easier the whole thing is going to flow. So, doesn't hurt to let them sit on there while it all settles out. Okay, I'm gonna over on this side, and hopefully I can better do this. Looks like my lighting is kind of messed up. Let me see. No matter what, my lighting's a little messed up. Okay. Okay. Now you can put a torch on there to get more cells if you wanted. I don't have any trouble getting cells. So it's always a good idea to go back the way you came and kind of let it settle out before you go a new direction. I like to try to go as close to the edges before it starts going over. It's kind of going a little bit now. And the slower you go, the better cells you'll get. And to some extent. Looks like most of this color is going to come right off, unfortunately. Maybe I can just get a lot of it to, we'll see. You just want to go right to the edge and come back so you don't lose all that color. I might be able to stretch that color to the other side, depending on. Well, my cells are kind of getting a little wonky, but it's not too bad just like it is. Let's set that down. Not super excited with the color choices. It's kind of an experiment. I'm gonna get my black light. It'll probably dry a little darker. Okay. Oops. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. It's cooler under the black light than without it. You get an artificial depth with the colors. It looks very 3D in person. So that's interesting. We'll let it dry overnight and see if it changes. Doesn't look too uneven as far as the table goes. It's actually just so much cooler under the black light.